Hey singers, welcome to the Mona Lisa Life. So glad you're here. We want to help you on your singing journey. And we did an amazing webinar this morning with 3 up-and-coming singers from New York City, Audrey Powell, Eric Williamson, MARLA ACEVEDO, and just a little bit of feedback from their career, but especially a really good discussion and lots of singing, talking about the difference between vocal technique and vocal style. We hope you enjoy it. Please drop us a comment and let us know what you're thinking as we go along this little journey together. Let us know what your biggest struggle is, whether it's technique or style. We would love to hear from you. Don't forget to subscribe, ring that bell. Welcome to the Mona Lisa Life. We want you to be a singular sensation.
The Mona Lisa Life, be a singular success.
Cool. So good morning. So I have 3 of my favorite people on the planet that are here, as well as I know some of you are out there in the program just listening online. So I want to introduce you to Eric Williamson, New York City. Eric, just give us a brief all about Eric. It'll also be in our notes on YouTube on the video. Hi, Eric.
Hi, everybody. My name is Eric Williamson. I'm a music teacher in Brooklyn, New York, and I'm also a conductor with the Grammy Award-winning Brooklyn Youth Chorus. And I am a singer and performer, predominantly opera, but I do a little bit of everything, which you will hear later on today.
Thank you, Eric. We're so glad you're here. And New York City influencer, singer, and actress Audrey Powell.
Hi, everyone. My name is Audrey Powell. I am from Birmingham, Alabama, but I'm currently based in New York City. I actually graduated with my BFA in acting from TCU, so go Frogs, yay Texas. That's how I met LK. And right now I'm in New York pursuing a career in musical theater, but I also sing a little bit of pop and, thanks to LK, opera sometimes. And I have my own podcast and blog called NY She.
Yay, Audrey. And then Miss Cutie Patootie, glamour girl, equity actress, singer, and all-around nice person, Miss MARLA ACEVEDO.
Hi, everyone. My name is MARLA ACEVEDO. I'm a Dallas-based actress. I graduated with a BFA in musical theater from the University of Texas at Arlington. And right after that, I went to New York and studied at Stella Adler Musical Theater as well, and came back and met LK and have studied with her. Then I returned. I just got back from a national tour with Dallas Children's Theater where I played Butterfly for a year. So that was a lot of fun. And yeah, I'm just your actress. I also do voiceovers. I've worked on quite a bit of shows with Funimation, and I also do a little bit of TV and film. So that's about me.
Yay. Okay. So life's funny. It kind of takes us in all different spots sometimes, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what we're talking about today is we're talking about some of the absolute ABCs, and I'm going to do just 3 graphics. It's going to be so simple, but some of the ABCs of vocal technique, but specifically what technique or tools, think of those words as being interchangeable, what technique or tools you use for the style that you sing. Because the one thing that you heard from these 3, singers, that, and they're all doing this for a living, is they do more than one thing. They have to pull out different tools, right? Like every day sometimes?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
All the time.
All the time.
So let me ask you this question. How do you identify, and we'll go in the same order, Eric, Audrey, and MARLA, so we don't step on each other. How do you identify as a singer? And let me add a part B to that. And how is that different to how maybe you identified as a singer when you were just starting college?
Ooh, that is a loaded question. So when I started undergrad, so a little bit more background about me. I got my undergraduate degree from Penn State University and my master's from Columbia Teachers College in music education. So for me, it took me a very long time to identify as a singer in general. I've always grew up in church singing gospel music. I did musical theater in high school. So when I got to college, classical music was a whole new world to me. So then and now, I just consider myself a singer that can sing anything. Because I've had this solid vocal technique, I have the experience and the expression that allows me to have a flexible throat, as I like to call it, that allows me to navigate through different styles.
Yeah, yeah, and I love that about your voice. I absolutely hear that. Yeah, that's so authentic for you. Love it. Miss Audrey.
So, when I first started college, I thought of myself as exclusively a musical theater singer. But it was actually when I started working with LK that she introduced me to the wonderful style of opera and classical singing. And I realized how important that was for your bass in your singing tools. The technique that they teach you in classical singing is important for everything. It helps you sing pop. It helps you sing musical theater. It obviously helps you sing classical. And now I would consider myself a singer who can sing all three if I need to.
Awesome. Love it. Miss Marla.
Definitely. I think the way that I identify myself as a singer, I definitely identify myself as a musical theater singer, just because that's what I studied for. That's like the field that I'm in and that I'm always auditioning for. And so at the very beginning, I started out in choir. So I consider myself like a choral singer. So that's what I started off with. As I progressed and got into college and learned more, I was like, no, I'm a musical theater person. So that's definitely going to be my number one.
Got ya. But, and again, you said you wear more than one hat. That changes. If somebody says, hey, can you sing for a wedding? The first thing you don't think of is, oh, what's a good show tune? Or somebody says, hey, can you single voiceover? And it sounds a little jazzy or a little country. You don't say, no, I can't take the money because I don't sing jazz or country. You're like, yeah, here's where you deposit the check. I'm good. I got this.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to share a little picture just because I want to talk about, and I love to simplify things. I want to talk about the 4 building blocks of technique. And so I put them as if they were the 4 ABCs, but unfortunately the ABCs are going to be A, B, C, and D. So here's my graphic of the ABCs of music, okay, of vocal technique. So A is alignment. I don't know why I put alignment twice. I think that was only the first cup of coffee. Alignment is the entire structure of your instrument. It's not just your spine. It's also your tongue and your jaw. It's that everything is in alignment. For example, you wouldn't take your car to the mechanic and say, hey, you don't need to mess with the alignment. I don't really care how it drives. Would you?
No.
Never.
I would never do that. And I'm going to keep going back to this car analogy. But alignment means that in a perfect situation, because we're talking tools and techniques, everything is primed and ready to go. If you're a craftsman, if you build furniture, or if you're a machinist or a mechanic, if you're a pilot, you want the mechanics to go in and make sure that all the tools are working and everything's ready to go. You wouldn't, you would be terrified if you went in for a surgical procedure and nobody had prepped the room first to make sure everything was in the right place. So you as a singer, when you're starting from ground zero, which is the most free, most flexible voice, like Eric said, you have to start from a position of alignment. And that's where many times you need a coach, whether it's because you pull your jaw to the side, because we all do that, or you have posture issues, or you're not optimizing the best sound you can get because of the alignment of your particular instrument. That's our A. So we're going to use that word, A, for alignment. B, we're going to talk about breath, okay? And so breath is the equivalent of fuel in our car. It's not, our voice is not going to run without breath. And all of these things are in a very specific order because our voice will not optimize. We're always going to go back and have to fix a foundational issue if we treat any of these out of order. So we can't make our breath effective if our alignment is ineffective, right? Because we're compromised. We're not maximizing what the body can do. So I'm not teaching you how to breathe today, but I'm just saying that foundationally, when we're talking about technique versus style, we need to make sure that that breath is coordinated, and it's coordinated in a body that's well aligned from top to bottom. Then the third thing, which I love, is this applies to so much of what we work on with coaches once we get into an intermediate level, and that is I'm working on my resonance, or I'm working on my register. You're a musical theater singer and you're saying, oh, I need more mixed voice. I need more belt voice. I can't access my head voice. I'm a man and I'm having a problem with my falsetto. All of that falls under our ABC. That's color. That's color. It's what are we doing with the sound that God gave us in our body to produce it and manufacture it, and here we are as artists to shade it and color in the spots we want to color it in, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Color. And then this last thing is like diction. Oh, that's no big thing. Diction is everything. It's the top of the pyramid. It's what makes a pyramid instead of a little square out in the desert. And I'm going to go back to just the oldest precept that I ever learned about vocal technique, and this has been around for 300 years, Bel Canto School of Technique, and that is that singing is the sustaining and elongating of vowels. Every sound you make as a singer is based on one or more vowel sounds, and if those vowel sounds are inhibited, your voice is inhibited. It's compromised with tension, it's compromised with pitch, it's compromised with resonance. Do we sing pure vowels in pop music and musical theater? Not at all. But if we understand the foundation of that pure vowel and we can manipulate it because everything else is in alignment, then we have a ton of beautiful colors. We have text that communicates, and we have a really good ABCDs of vocal technique. So those are our ABCDs that we're going to keep referring back to. We're going to start with a little bit of music from Eric, and Eric's going to introduce his piece, and looking forward to hear it, Eric.
Yay! So I'm going to sing for you a song called A Simple Song. The funny thing about it is there's actually nothing simple about it. It is written by Leonard Bernstein, and it is from his Mass, which is a stage work that includes dancing, includes actors, it includes dramaturges, but it's not a musical or an opera. It's specifically a stage work, which is just very different, and this piece is just really fun for me to sing. I enjoy singing a lot, and I hope you enjoy me singing it. So here we go. Sing God a simple song, louder, louder, make it up as you go along, louder, louder, sing like you like to sing. God loves all simple things, for God is the simplest of all. For God is the simplest of all. I will sing the Lord a new song, to praise him, to bless the Lord. I will sing his praises while I live all of my days. Blessed is the man who loves the Lord. Blessed is the man who praises him. Louder, 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 and walks in his ways. I will lift up mine eyes to the hills from whence comes my help. I will lift up my voice to the Lord, singing louder, louder. For the Lord is the shade upon my right hand, and the sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Blessed is the man who loves the Lord. Louder, in his ways. Louder, 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 dee da dee day, all of my days.
Thunderous applause from all over the internet. Yay!
Yay.
Awesome. Eric, if you were teaching this to a young singer, what would be one style tip and one technique tip you would give?
Ooh, okay, that's another loaded question. So it's all about, for me, great posture is great self-respect. So it starts with the posture. It's really about airflow with this song and moving that air and creating the phrases. So if you're not in good alignment with great posture, there's no way you're moving air. There's no way you're connecting these phrases. So it's really about being on the body and moving air. So it's really the breathing for me. The breathing is also the phrasing. It's also how you're going to express the piece. It's always air. Move air. Open your mouth and move air.
Yeah. Style. So like perhaps you get a singer that comes in that predominantly sings something else. I mean, fill in the blank, whatever type of style.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to say to them to say, this needs to be in a classical lane? What are some of the things they would focus on?
The great thing about this piece is you can perform it either way. You can perform it as a legit classical piece. You can perform it as musical theater. I've heard it both ways. So let's say I had a student who is predominantly musical theater. The challenge would be, okay, I love how you're emoting and expressing this. Can you use your air and your airflow and your breath to sing this a super legatissimo line with the same intention of conveying the message, but now using the technique, the airflow, to connect the phrase? Let's say I have a classical singer who's used to keeping everything super legatissimo. Can you come out of the line ever so slightly, still being on your body, but more so focusing on the text and emphasizing words as a theater piece?
So would you use, more abrupt register changes? Like maybe do a straight falsetto on the top and introduce some mix or belt on some of the lower
it depends on who is singing it. If I'm working with like a male or a female, there's more color options for a male singer in this piece, just because like it's that like fake high baritone thing where they can add a mix, they can add a falsetto, whereas if a female is singing this, it's pretty high soprano registration, so it's less options in terms of what they're doing registration wise. I mean, and obviously we want to just live in a mix in general, but if you have a male singer, there's more just different color options that you can do to vary up the song.
I think we definitely need to come back to that after we've heard a chance to hear you all sing. I love that so much. How well put. Thank you so much, Eric. Audrey, tell us a little bit about what you're going to sing.
So I am going to be singing Make You Feel My Love, which is originally written and performed by Bob Dylan, but Adele did a cover of it that's very famous as well. So I am going to be singing her arrangement.
Awesome.
All right. Let me share my sound. Awesome. I'm gonna hold my mic up. When the rain is blowing in your face and the whole world is on your case, I could offer you a warm embrace to make you feel my love. when the evening shadows and the stars appear, and there is no one there to dry your tears, I could hold you for a million years to make you feel my love. I know you haven't made your mind up yet, but I would never do you wrong. I've known it from the moment that we met, no doubt in my mind that you belong. I'd go hungry, I'd go black and blue, I'd go crawling down the avenue. No, there's nothing that I wouldn't do to make you feel my love. The storms are raging on the rolling seas and on the highway of regret. The winds of change are blowing wild and free. You ain't seen nothing like me yet. I can make you happy and make your dreams come true. Nothing that I wouldn't do. Go to the ends of the earth for you to make you feel my love. To make you feel my love.
Nice. So I'd asked Eric, and I want to hopefully repeat the question in the same way for each of you. Technique versus style, what are some of your choices, or some of your choices if you were coaching another singer that you would say for the way that you sang that, Audrey?
So you were talking a lot about diction, and for me, my biggest struggle between being a musical theater singer and being a pop singer is not transferring that musical theater diction over to pop. Yes, you need diction in pop, but it doesn't need to be as crisp as you would expect a musical theater song to be, because you're not singing this on a stage so hundreds of people can hear it. So for me, that's one of my biggest challenges with that. Is a lot of times I get the critique that I make pop songs sound too musical theater. And then as far as like resonance and placement goes, when we think pop, we tend to overbelt things because it's like we think pop, we think power. And for me, it's finding the resonance of where, okay, I'm going to mix this. Okay, I'm going to go into my head voice a little bit for this. So finding all of the different qualities in a pop song where you can play with your resonance so it's going to change your color.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, very well put. You know, one of the things, and I'd love to get input from the three of you, that I find with pop music that's so hard when you come from the conservative side of being a classical or musical theater singer is you don't want to be a cover artist. So you don't want to sing it the way somebody else does. You can use somebody else's arrangement, but you don't want to sing it. You know, whether it's you find your own riffs, you recreate your own phrasing, you give it an emotional story that's your own story. Those are all things that you have to change. And the big thing that's the hardest to change on top of all that is you got to blur the lines. We blur pitches. We really mutate vowels a lot. Had been right? Baba, I don't even remember the words to the song. Make you feel
there's nothing precise about that, but that's usually what the big singers do. They color outside the lines. They don't look like coloring books anymore.
Right.
So that's really hard. So let's get a comment from Eric and Marla on that, and then I want to give you just a mini experiment on that, Audrey.
Okay. Yeah.
Comments from Audrey and Eric and Marla.
Well, I'll go first, I guess. When it comes to, I think what's beautiful about pop singing is it's super emotive and you feel it. And, you know, they don't have that training mind, like in their mind, like the things about like posture and diction and things. It's really about feeling and expressing the message of the song. And I think that's why they have such beautiful musicality in their singing and their phrasing is because they don't have that block of, oh, I have to make sure my posture is, or I have to make sure that I'm creating the most beautiful sound. It's almost as if, like, you know, when we are approaching this style of singing and music, we have to go back to that primal sound, or like who we are as people first before we got, you know, I don't want to say indoctrinated because that's a strong word, but like before we receive the training that we have, like, who am I as a singer? Who am I as a person? Who am I as an artist? Who am I as a musician? Going back to the root of that, to tap into that natural musicality and artistry that we're all born with to really convey the song. And then, you know, I think we can layer back on the technique and the training that we have, so we're not compromising our instrument. But I think, you know, us having that internal conversation of who am I as a singer, what is my voice, you know, and not playing around with that.
Voice. And I think that's probably 80% of all pop singers. It's not an Adam Levine or a Bruno Mars or an Ariana Grande, but most singers, Adele, for example, sing in a very limited range, and their speaking voice and their singing voice, it's so organic. It's just right where they're at. Yeah. Marla.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I would totally agree. And I think everybody, whenever we go watch a concert, or if it's like you go to a coffee shop and they have open mics and somebody brings out a piece like this, a song like this, you're not looking for technique. You're not looking like, oh, look at her high notes. We're not interested in that. We are really just like, oh, I love this song. It's such a beautiful song. And we're just so enamored by the singer because you really have to feel the song to sing it. And that's basically what it is. We're not really looking for technique as if we were to go to an opera and be like, oh my gosh, look at those notes that she hit and that breath support. You do have to have breath support and you do have to have technique. But however, when it comes to conveying this song, we kind of forget all about it. And it's in the back of our minds.
The story should always transcend the style and the technique, right?
Okay, can I say one more thing about, so as a musical theater performer who is auditioning in New York, I just want to say how important it is to learn how to sing pop, because nowadays at a lot of my auditions, I would say 80% of them, they want a pop song, pop rock. That's a lot of the style, where the style is going on Broadway. I mean, just think about like Hamilton, Six the Musical, like they have that musical theater base, but they're singing in more of like a pop style. So if you are a singer who's interested in musical theater and you have more of like a classical background, I would say definitely work on your techniques to make your pop voice stronger, because a lot of casting directors and casting agents are looking for pop singing right now.
Okay, so we're going to play a little game here with our three singers for a minute, okay? We're all going to sing that phrase, to make you feel my love, okay? Except we're all going to put a different flavor on it. And then you got to identify, just like a great cook, you know, can taste something and say, oh, I taste the cardamom, or oh, I taste the coriander, okay? So, Eric, you're going to sing that phrase. You can take the high octave or the low octave, but I want it
high
country.
Octave.
I want it
country.
I want it country.
Woo.
Audrey,
all right.
You're going to sing it for me, R&B. Marla, you're going to sing it with a big, wide belt.
Do I have to go first?
Can Eric and I switch? Can I do country?
No, I didn't put Marla out of her wheelhouse, but you're immediately thinking, okay, what makes it country, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So what are some of your style tools? Eric's going to be thinking about twang and diction. He's going to thinking about a real forward nasal resonance. Audrey's going to be thinking riffs.
Oh boy.
She's going to be thinking riffs, because if she sings it like a white girl from Alabama in a little square box, right? Yeah. I want her to sing it, then Eric's going to lend her button that says very black.
Yeah.
I don't know
Think
about
pink, Audrey. Think pink. Think
okay.
pink.
Okay.
And then Marla, I want, and Marla's got a great belt, but she's actually a little petite singer with a high voice. I mean, there's 5 foot of her. And so when I'm telling her I want her to open up, I want her to, like Patti LuPone big. Okay. All right, Eric, go ahead. Country.
Okay.
You have to transpose it.
Okay.
It's fine. Whatever key you want. Just that hook, but country.
Okay, here we go. To make you feel my love. Well, I got a little
riff there. Okay.
Get a little riff in there. I can't help myself.
All right, so Audrey and Marla, if you added one more thing to him, you're on The Voice and you're coaching him before he goes live in front of 10 million people, what would you tell him? One other thing.
Maybe make it a little bit more like in country, they have that kind of like spread twang. You know what I mean? It's like the spread. They aren't as focused on making their vowel shapes precise. It's, can I sing something? Or do I need to make you feel my love?
Yes.
I'm not a country singer, but you know, I can fake it.
Listen, I don't even listen to country. So,
me either.
Eric's 1.1.
To make you feel my love. No.
Yes.
Okay,
country.
Great.
It's better. Yeah.
Yeehaw.
In there.
Not only outside the box, but to make the box bigger so you really stretch. And that was a stretch for him. That wasn't in your wheelhouse of sounds you normally produce.
Awesome.
Awesome.
At all.
Yeah, that's how we stretch as singers. And you got to feel like it's safe. Okay, Audrey.
I'm really nervous about this one.
You're going to be great, Audrey. You be singing.
I need a riff, girl.
I'm not a riff. I honestly, like, riffs are another place where I'm like, okay.
But she said she wants to audition for shows where you got to do pop. How much pop music has riffs, y'all?
It's pop and B now. Pop and B.
It is. And I'm like, no. Okay. To make you feel my love.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Good.
I want to do, like, I'm trying to teach, well, not teach myself, but I'm trying to learn. I want to do like a multi-note riff, like really like Adele. I mean, just like Sam Smith, that sort of like pop and B, but you know, we're working on that. I'm working on the agility of my voice still.
Okay, so I'm sending a question out here just to well, maybe they won't let me. I was going to send one out to to our audience, but if you sing riffs, just give us a yes. I just want to hear how many of you sing riffs. We're going to go back to your survey, and it looks like, you know, we don't have a lot of pop singers, but riffs aren't any different than cadenzas. They're learning notes and patterns and then getting adept at them, right? It's new vocabulary.
Reasons why I love Baroque music. It's all runs.
Audrey, you got to dirty up those vowels.
Okay.
Guy said she sings riffs.
Yeah.
Dakota, I can sing a few. Okay.
All right. So
you want me to do it again?
Do a retake. Do Audrey 1.1, and then we're going to do Marla's Patti LuPone impersonation.
So I need to dirty up the vowels.
Oh yeah, girlfriend.
Okay, I'll try. Okay. To make you feel my love.
Oh yeah. That was new and improved. That'll get a little sticker on it.
Oh, thank you.
That's great. Awesome. Patti LuPone. I mean, Marla.
All right. You said you're in Big Belty. All right.
Yeah.
To make you feel my love.
Good, but make it MT. Don't add a pop riff to it.
True.
So don't change the notes. I love the sound, and I love the way she set it all up in that little body, and it's like, whoa. The wave.
To make you feel my love.
Yeah, and you notice what she did? She did that straight tone and then that big vibrato. Do we do that in musical theater?
Oh, musical theater, they love a big vibrato at the end.
Yes. And pop, too.
Pop, too,
yes.
Yep.
And
Whitney Houston.
Oh, my God.
Whitney!
Right? Yes.
God, too soon.
She lives on that straight vibrato.
And it's so nice because it's like just that little change from straight tone to vibrato makes the world of difference, especially in a performance. I mean, people, like a live performance, which is why I love the theater so much, and pop music. Obviously, there's concerts and things. but people live for that shift from straight tone to vibrato. It's just like the big moment, and you're like, yes, you know? Ugh.
Unwrap the present, and then there's the good stuff. And
The goosebumps moment.
Yeah.
And even as a performer, whenever I do that, like in actual performance, it just gives you so much energy, like in the moment, like switching that, it brings so much energy to just keep going, and it's the best thing.
That momentum.
Yes, momentum. That's a good, that's really important to singing, momentum, because you can't give up halfway through the song.
Don't give up. Do the work, friends.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm looking at the poll from our singers and just the chat. We were just talking about how many of them sing riffs. So in this group, 47% of them primarily say they sing classical or choral music. And then the rest is kind of, I think second place is musical theater and R&B are kind of a run in second place. That's kind of our vocal demographics for what we got going on here. Only a handful of those singers sing riffs. So riffs are one of those things you can take a basic scale, you know, if that's something you want to add to your vocabulary, and you can take a ba dee 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 ba and make up a little riff and travel it up the scale. You can also do the same thing if you're working on your straight tone to vibrato. It's very much like a messa di voce exercise that we do as classical singers, except that we're, you know, increasing that air pressure, getting a little bit more movement so that we add that vibrato. But those are skills. Those are technique. That's not style. We use that technique in certain styles. And so we have to have that tool ready too.
And also,
I'm sorry. If you're a Baroque singer and you're learning trills and turns and tremolos, you practice those. They're very precise. Just like I said, you make up a riff and you practice it. You still have to learn the blueprint, and you have to be accurate. You start slow and you speed it up, but it's the same process. Learning a new musical vocabulary, and it's a technique that we choose to use within a certain style.
I was going to say the nice thing too about riffs, while I'm still working on them, it's a nice thing when you are in an audition and let's say they cut your audition cut down to 8 bars, which I've had that happen to me a lot in New York. Adding a riff in there is just another way to show off your technique to the casting agents while you have such a small amount of time to sing.
Yeah.
And to Audrey's point,
go ahead.
Sorry, could I really quickly, to Audrey's point, you know, there's this obsession with riffs and runs right now, but please remember, riffs and runs are ornamental, not fundamental. Woo-hoo! Do not abandon the melody. We need it.
Need that on a poster.
Cherry on top. A friend of mine said that it wasn't me. I can't trademark. Anastasia Talley, love her, follow her. She's amazing, but that's her thing. And I'm just like, yes, that is from the Bible. But you know, just as a thing, don't do too much.
What we're gonna do, I think we'll have time to go through everybody else's song, and we're gonna invite some comments and a question from our audience. But Marla, love to hear you sing, girl. So set up your song. Let us know what you're doing.
Yeah, so I'm going to be singing Out Here on My Own from Fame, which is actually a jukebox musical. And it Are you guys getting anything funky?
We are getting these flashing disco lights. I just figured it was supposed to come back to the 80s. I brought my 80s hair today, so I thought, oh, Marla's got her 80s disco light.
I don't know what that was. Sorry about that. Okay. But it's from Leslie and Michael Gore from the musical Fame. So sometimes I wonder.
We're not hearing your sound.
Where I've been. You can or you can't. Who I am.
Now we got it.
Do I fit in? Make believing is hard alone. Out here on my own. We're always proving who we are. Always reaching for that rising star to shine me on and shine me home out here on my own. When I'm down and feeling blue, I close my eyes so I can be with you. Oh, baby, be strong for me. Baby, belong to me. Help me through. Help me need you until the morning sun appears, making light of all my tears. I dry the tears I never showed out here on my own. But when I'm down and feeling blue, I close my eyes so I can be with you. Oh, baby, be strong for me. Baby, belong to me. Help me through. Help me need you. Sometimes I wonder where I've been, who I am. Do I fit in? I may not win, but I can't be thrown out here on my own. Out here on my own.
Yay! Audrey Powell, tell Marla what you loved about that ending, because I know.
At the very end, like the big note at the end, you had the straight tone, then you went to the vibrato, and then you had the very, very nice soft, not falsetto, but you went a little bit into your head voice for that ending, and it was so nice, and I loved it, and I was smiling. Yeah, it was great.
And she did a remix too, didn't you?
Yes, with her grip.
Yeah, that was sweet. So Marla, what would be your advice to your younger you or another student on techniques and tools? What do you bring to that song?
I think definitely this song, it's got some long phrases in there. Like the phrasing in there pretty soft. Pretty long, especially like a lot of these words are just dragged out. So breath support is something that is definitely important, and something that you really have to pay attention to, because if that is not there, you will not be able to sustain those long notes, even like those belts, like out here on my, you have to have that support. So really taking into consideration the breath, and also the same like Audrey, of course you are going to use technique, but it doesn't have to, the diction doesn't have to be so crystal clear and precise on every single word. And in fact, there's a couple of words that it's like, you can just kind of don't completely throw the endings away, but it doesn't have to be, for example, we're always proven, it's proven, not proving. Like in classical, in legit musical theater, it would say proving, ing. In this song, you don't need to be so precise, and you'll say proven. So I think really taking in, just the same as Audrey said, the diction doesn't have to be completely clear, really paying attention. It's a little bit more soulful, a little bit just not as, you don't want to come in with this song singing, especially if we do have a lot of classical singers in here. You don't want to come in here and say, we're always proving who we are.
Good, but not correct.
Right. Yeah, and that's exactly, like, not saying that it's wrong, it's just not the best choice for this song, and it's part of being able to take out your different tools and using them in accordance to whatever song you're deciding to sing.
Got it. Love it. All right, so it's 10:45, so I might cut you off in the middle of your song because I want to take a couple minutes for Q&A with our audience. As a matter of fact, audience, I'm going to ask you if you have specific questions, whether it's to the group at large or to one of us. Start typing in those questions now as you think of them. It can be anything from silent technique or, if you have something else that's just relevant to today's topic, that's great too. Okay, so Eric, I'm going to let you go.
Okay. In the interest of time, I'm going to start from the middle of the song. This song is called Grateful by composer John Bucchino. I like to call it contemporary musical theater because it's pretty soulful. The message is really amazing and timely given what's happening with coronavirus. So I hope that this song inspires you as much as I love singing it. And I hope you feel something. I always like to say, make sure the people feel it. So here we go. Sorry. I'm not sure where I am in the song here. I'm just going to start from the beginning and not play myself. I've got a roof over my head. I've got a warm place to sleep. Some nights I lie awake counting gifts instead of counting sheep. I've got a heart that can hold love. I've got a mind that can think. There may be times when I lose the light and let my spirit sink, but I can't stay depressed when I remember how I'm blessed. Oh, grateful, grateful, truly grateful I am. Oh, grateful, grateful, truly blessed and duly grateful. Ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah. In a city of strangers, I've got a family of friends. No matter what rocks and brambles fill the way, I know that they will stay until the end. I feel a hand holding my hand. It's not a hand that you can see, but on the road to the promised land, this hand will shepherd me through delight and despair, holding tight and always there. Grateful, grateful, truly grateful I am. Grateful, grateful, truly blessed and duly grateful. It's not that I don't want a lot, or hope for more, dream of more, but giving thanks for what I've got makes me so much happier than keeping score in a world that can bring pain. I will still take each chance, for I believe that whatever the terrain, our feet can learn time to dance. Whatever stone life may sling, we can moan or we can sing. Grateful, grateful, truly grateful I am. Oh, grateful, grateful, I'm blessed and duly grateful. Truly blessed and duly grateful.
Yes, Eric.
Love, love, love. What are the words? Bring it. Bring it. Bring it. Bring church. Bring joy. Bring gratitude.
Yeah.
Bring it.
So good.
Oh,
Thank
love it.
you.
Audrey, bless us, girlfriend.
Okay, I know we're short on time, so I'll just like stop it. Do you just want me to stop it in the
No,
middle?
we'll just do it. If we go over 2 minutes, it's okay.
Okay, cool.
We're just going to go right to you and Marilla and a couple
Great.
quick questions. Yeah.
Let me share my sound.
I got a couple good questions here. Thanks for filling those in the
good.
chat, folks.
Alrighty, here we go. I could stay right here and give back the boy his book, but if I stay right here, he'll think that I'm a nun, and I am not a nun. He'll think that I am chaste, and I'm not that chaste. Or I could run away, leave his book on the shelf with the lube and the latte. At least this is over, whatever this is. I really think I should wait, though it's hard to articulate why. Or I could stay right here. I could shake this habit off. Just stay right here and say hello and say here's your book and place. Hey, let's keep in touch. But that's way too much. It's hard to go unseen. At least in this instance, with so little distance between me and the boy and his book and the shop and the wow. I take a sip to get up on my feet and then how? Now it's just me against the door. This isn't what I want, although I think I want some more. But not right now. Now I need to go. I'm not finished with the boy. I mean the book. So I will hold it till tomorrow. Little off at the end, but you know.
Sing, Audrey.
And I didn't even say my song. Literally, the notes started playing. I was like, they don't know what I'm singing. That is Sister's Pickle from the musical Amelie. It was on Broadway with Philippa Sue, who was in Hamilton, and I love her.
Yeah, Amelie's a great score. Get on Spotify or wherever you listen to music and give it a listen. Miss Marla, love it, Audrey. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to be singing Breathe from In the Heights. Also, it's by Lynn. So I know it's not by Lynn, but
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
yes.
Avery left that.
Philip was his original name. Okay. You guys can hear? This is my street. I smile at the faces I've known all my life. They regard me with pride, and everyone's sweet. They say you're going places, so how can I say that while I was away, I had so much to hide? Hey guys, it's me, the biggest disappointment, you know. The kid couldn't hack it, she's back, and she's walking real slow. Welcome home, just breathe. Just breathe. forgotten boleros. I think of the days the city was mine. I remember the praise, I te adoro, te quiero. The neighborhood waved and said, Nina, be brave and you're gonna be fine. And maybe it's me, but it all seems like lifetimes ago. So what do I say to these faces that I used to know? Hey, I'm home. Nina, Nina, hey. They're not worried about me. Ahí está nuestra estrella. They are all counting on me to succeed. I am the one who made it out, the one who always made the grade, when maybe I should have just stayed home. When I was a child, I stayed wide awake, climbed to the highest place on every fire escape, restless to climb. I got every scholarship, saved every dollar, the first to go to college, had a light, had the why. I'm coming back home with my eyes on the horizon, just me and the GWB, asking Gina, what'll you be? Straighten the spine, smile for the neighbors, everything's fine, everything's cool. The standard reply, lots of tests, lots of papers, wave, say goodbye, and pray to the sky. Oh God, what would my parents say? Can I go in there and say, I know that I'm letting you down? Just breathe.
Love it, love it, love it so much. Big range of music from all of you today, and just showing off so many different things. Singers that are out there, I will do what I can to, maybe we can go in depth at another time if I can bring Eric and Audrey and Marla back in some combination. That would be great. One of the questions that shows up the most, not only in your chat but also in the poll, is about breathing. I'm going to give you, we got 2 minutes, so I'm going to give you 30 seconds, let everybody else give you 30 seconds on breathing. But my go-to, and it's not my go-to, and it's been there for a million years, is a bottle of water and a straw. And get used to singing air through occluded vocal cords. So if you're singing happy birthday, look at my bottle. That's the best way to work on compressing that air behind the folds, really getting a line that's connected and getting the muscle memory within the context of that piece, that you can really manage your breath. That's just so helpful. It's also vocal therapy when you're ill or you're tired or you're hormonal. It's great if you're living in an apartment in New York City and nobody can hear you sing and you still need to get a full body workout without a full voice overload. So that's my breathing tip. Eric, Audrey, and Marla, tips on breathing, and then we'll say goodbye.
I'll try to keep this super short. One thing I like to do is something called tripod breathing. You can do this anywhere. Sit at the edge of your seat, take your forearms, put it in your lap. The goal of it is for you to feel full body expansion of the lower rib cage and the abdominals, breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. That's one. Really, it's all about engaging your body, period. Lip trills also works, humming. I like to do hissing, always focusing on lower body engagement, really that lower body expansion, and it's all about persistence and consistency. So this is not a one-time thing in choir rehearsal. Literally do this every day. Moving the air, feeling it in your body. We are vocal athletes. If you don't do conditioning, you'll never improve. The folds will never strengthen. So
love it. Audrey.
I'm going to backpack on Eric's point about conditioning. For me, I think you just cannot neglect warming up your breath in your warm-up. You have to make sure that you do that every single time, even if you are about to go into an audition. For me, it's like, oh, I don't want to be doing lip trills or anything in the audition room. No, do them, because you need to have that breath support, and don't be afraid during your warm-ups. I know a lot of people do this, but then once you are a more experienced singer, you kind of forget these things, like keeping your hand on your abdominals and making sure that you are getting in enough breath every time before you go in to start singing, just because breath is so important and it's fundamental. So if you neglect it and forget about it, then you're just not setting yourself up for success.
Perfect. Marla.
Definitely. So my thing would be get active. Like if you guys do jumping jacks, and this is something I do all the time, anytime I feel like, oh my God, I have tension or anything, get active, do jumping jacks, run in place, because that will force your body to breathe. And guess what? You will be taking really deep breaths. Of course, don't do it like right before your auditions where you're out of breath, but just get your body moving. And then remember, just, you have to be conscious and always remember to take low breaths. So I think just doing those two will definitely set you up for success every single time.
Awesome. Thanks. Hey, all of you that have contributed today by being here or singing, thank you so much. My name is Alfie Fletcher. This is the Mona Lisa Life. You can find us on YouTube, or also our website, social media. It's all the Mona Lisa Life, monalisalife.com. If you have technical or style questions, please send them to me. If it's for one of our panelists today, I'll be glad to forward it on. But I thank you guys. Have a great, wonderful musical day. Thank you for your contributions here. You're awesome.